Hi, guys. So how is everyone doing? Hi, Amy, and hi, Jan. How are you guys doing today?
Hello.
So I see that you said, hello, everyone. Amethyst, I know of two people, one of which is myself, that are Geminis, and our starseed origins is from Orion. I'm from the star Bellatrix. I would guess that you are an Orion starseed also. I'm telling you, I resonate with that. And I have always, always been really drawn to Orion's belt and Sirius. And I have to share something with you guys really quick along that. A couple of nights ago, I did the next activation for the Sophia Dragon Tribe. And that happened to be Green Tara, who is from Sirius, from the Sirius Nation. And you know that the Orion's belt points down to Sirius, and then the other part of it points to Pleiades, right? Well, after I did that activation, I took Sully out less than an hour later. And what do you know was right in front of my face in the sky. The sky was as clear as could be. It was Sirius. I mean, it is the brightest star in our sky, but Sirius, Orion, everything as plain as can be. As plain as could be. I was like, oh yeah, that's a sign. Definitely. So, awesome. And my spine was on fire when I was doing it. It was on fire. I could feel it rising all the way up my spine. So, yeah.
Hi, Maria.
So we're going to be talking about the Pleiades. And I just want to hand it over to you because, to begin with, because you are just like, well, first of all, you believe that you are Pleiadian, or at least that's one of yours. And you can see the star system behind her right there. That is the Seven Sisters. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have discovered about the Pleiades.
Oh, gosh, so much. I would like to read a little bit about like traits, we'll say, of Pleiadian starseeds. And what's interesting about this in my research is every single one of them resonate. Like there isn't one that I'm even questioning. All of them resonate with me. Maybe they will others. So yeah, the first one would be the black sheep in their family, or feeling like the black sheep in their family. And I find that to be accurate. Drawn to the night sky, astronomy, and aliens, but I feel like a lot of starseeds would be drawn to that. Don't really understand social hierarchy. Never did. I'm like, you're the same, like as me. Why are you above me?
You're the Queen of England, right? Exactly.
I love that. Now this one hit me. It shook me. It says tend to have lower blood pressure, lower body temperature. Here's the thing with me and actually one of my sons as well. We have a blood pressure that is so low. I've had doctors admit me for it to run tests and stuff because they say it's like dangerously low. Like it'll be 80/60. And that's like my norm. And if it rises to like a normal blood pressure, then that's high for me. And my body temperature is like around 95 most of the time. So I thought that was interesting. And my son, Jaden, seems to be the same. Drawn to the paranormal and metaphysics, highly sensitive, intuitive, and empathic, creative, active imaginations, feel like they have a mission on Earth to help humanity wake up and contribute to the collective consciousness of ascension. Now, what's funny about that, a lot of people know I was like into activism, but my main thing I would always say is, I got to wake people up. Like I would always tell people, wake up, you know, when I'm like in my activism or whatever I was talking about, that it just resonates at heart. So interested in humanitarian efforts, challenge social norms. I think we all know that. May have food sensitivities. Yeah. Gluten also, like, I love spicy food. I love spicy food, but it does not agree with my body at all. Uh, Nurturing and may have healing abilities, which, like Rachele and I were talking about earlier, I feel like a lot of different star seeds too have like that healing, nurturing ability. Sorry, oh, okay.
No, I was just agreeing. I was just like, yeah. You know me, bobblehead Rachele.
Oh, I love you. So mystical and nature loving. Yes. Love to share love, sometimes too much, trying to please everyone. Oh my gosh. Yes. Everyone in my family, like sometimes it's just, would you go? Like, because I'm always like so affectionate. I'm always like, if I'm not affectionate, I don't feel okay. I don't know why, but that's actually true about me. I'm always affectionate. And if I walk by my kids, even, I'm patting them on the head or rubbing their arm or, always without fail.
I do this to my husband all the time on the backside. Or this.
Same, girl. I love that. They are usually an energy vampire's favorite dish. I don't really know about that one. However, I will say that other people's feelings or energy in the same area or vicinity as me does kind of shift me as well. But I feel like, again, a lot of people can resonate with that one. They can be very emotional, often resenting how easily they can tear up. My secret's gonna come out, but I've always told Rachele, don't tell no one I'm a crybaby, but I am. Like, it's funny. Chris laughs at me because he's like, how are you this? How can you be this sensitive? But
all right. Yep.
Yeah. People subconsciously enjoy their presence because they give their energy easily to others. I do feel that. Chris says if I'm upset, or even my children, it's like they run off my energy almost, which it's interesting. I know we're all always exchanging energy, but it seems like for my household, in my family, whatever mood I'm in, they're all feeling it.
Well, that could actually run both ways. If you are so heart-centered, right, that you emit a certain amount, and that's what starseeds are here for, just to emit their own frequency in order to help raise everybody else's. So that makes perfect sense, but it can also affect you. Other people's can affect yours.
Yes. That's why I was telling you yesterday, no, even if I go into someone else's house, I don't touch many things, or I don't like being in crowds because I feel so like I can't handle this.
I get that.
May be born into families that are suffering intergenerational trauma, abuse, addiction, in order to integrate the family karma and break the cycle. That one really hit me at home as well.
That's like Chiron in our charts. Yeah.
Yes, because I mean, a lot of people do know as well about my addiction history and my family and all. And I beat that for my family, the first generation, to actually break free of that. And I feel like that was one of my main missions in this lifetime. And I'm proud to say that I had at least done that one. And they're likely to make great parents. Also, Pleiadians tend to embody the frequency energy associated with the heart chakra. Pleiadians are considered to be the unconditional love, nurturing unity type, which my book was about unity. So right now, the main mission of the Pleiades is helping humanity learn to embody and reintegrate up here back into their heart center and utilize both. Also, Pleiadians have a strong relationship with sex and sensuality. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I love it. Sacred sex is the physical manifestation of love, so it's used to express that love. Alrighty, and so it talks about energy integration, more traits, and poorly integrated. So there's a difference, I guess, as a starseed for people who are doing positive integrations into their life and then negative ones. And I thought it might be cool to bring that up. Maybe some of us might need awareness, as to what we're here to work on. So,
yeah.
Pleiadian starseeds energy. Here we go. So when a Pleiadian starseed has worked on spiritual growth to the point where their Pleiadian energies are well integrated, they will find that they're able to follow an inner compass to find their life's purpose. They will be able to love someone unconditionally, meaning that they will no longer withdraw their love because that person upsets them. They will no longer feel jealousy. And some of this I have to work on, the jealousy thing, probably. Because they learned how to truly and unconditionally love themselves as well as others. So jealousy isn't so much of a negative emotion when they fully integrated or channeled the Pleiadian energy. Now, traits of poorly integrated Pleiadian energy would be they get upset easily when someone else judges them too harshly, which I would probably have to work on that as well. Also, they feel very depleted a lot in their energy. They may be too emotional or have poor emotional boundaries, which, yeah. Also, anxiety. They operate from like fear and anxiousness more so than just that inner knowing of love, like that feeling. So
I don't think you have that.
No.
No, I don't think you operate from a place of fear.
Oh,
You're
no,
one
no.
of the gutsiest ladies.
Not,
I know.
no, not anymore, definitely. When I was younger, I could see that probably, but now, no, since a lot of spiritual work and stuff. So yeah, was there anything else you wanted to say before I showed?
Let's see. Let's see here. Let me look through some of it. Yep, you love to love. Honesty. You value honesty and would never lie intentionally. Lying is not something that you have ever felt comfortable with. Very true. Yeah. Pleiadian starseeds are masters at healing others' wounded souls, and it happens almost unconsciously. You might not even be aware of it. That's what you were kind of talking about with being like that hub, or you are like the energy center of your home, and then others pick up on that. But if your energy is down, they pick up on that as well, and vice versa. So that makes sense. You are very giving. As a Pleiadian, you are very much a generous person, but you might have problems with your throat chakra because you are very much like what Jan said. If you are Pleiadian, you can also be very prone to being like a fixer or a people pleaser, and sometimes you squish yourself in order to take care of other people. Let's see. Yeah.
I just learned to like start working on that like last year, I believe.
Yeah. You are a very loyal partner. So you would never cheat or betray your partner on purpose. You wouldn't break up until you had tried everything to solve the issues in your relationship. You do not like conflicts and criticism, both very difficult. Highly intuitive. Since the heart chakra is Pleiadian starseeds' primary chakra, they tend to have a strong intuition. This doesn't mean that you always know exactly what to do, but when there is a decision that needs to be made, you can often feel what the right thing to do is. And you tend to make the choices or make decisions based on your heart rather than your logic, your mind.
Yeah.
So you are very good with animals. You have strong connections with animals. And like we had said, these don't necessarily just mean Pleiadian. There's other starseeds that, carry these as well. But today it's just we're talking about Pleiadians. You can't stand cruelty. You want to see peace on earth. You are charming and likable. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
The looks too. Do you think we should talk about some of the characteristics and looks?
Physical characteristics, yes.
Physical characteristics I found are kind of like lighter colored. Now, no, too, I just want to make clear that there are different shades of skin color in the Pleiades, just as multiple other systems.
Mm-hmm.
It's just generally the
predominant.
Yeah, predominant look.
Mm-hmm.
Nordic, blonde, white hair. I even seen red-haired and brown-haired depictions today as well. High cheekbones, almost elven or fey looking, chiseled like jawline.
Yeah, very strong jawline, it said. Yeah.
And they said that if your ears will point up a bit, kind of like this, and that your jawline or cheekbones will align with the tops of your ears. And cool. my son looks like dead. He's got like the big blue, like big eyes, and I'm like, oh yeah. But they said pretty much if you could take someone and put them in Lord of the Rings as like the elven people, then that would be generally how they're looked at or depicted.
That is how I think of the She also.
Same.
Yes. Yeah. So let's see. Other characteristics. We've already talked about what a Pleiadian is. I will say that these starseeds come from the Pleiades, which is a star cluster that's also known as the Seven Sisters. It's also called Messier 45 and the Eye of the Bull. So it is within the constellation of Taurus. So we'll start getting into where you would find it, like in your chart, where it is in the sky. And something I thought was very interesting, and I was talking with Cortney about this, because Cortney has been feeling very, very feely and emotional as of late.
Crying like the last couple days over, oh my gosh, like.
So I checked to see this morning when I was doing research for the Pleiades, because I wanted to check it in the sky and all that. I have a app on my phone, and it's called Stellarium, I think it's called. Let me find it. Stellarium. So, and I'll try to pull it up so that you can see what it looks like. Okay. It pulls up this kind of image. So you can go around your sky, even if it's during the day, and go like this, right? And it'll show you what's in the sky. You have to align it. It'll, if you use it, it'll like look at your location and all that. And you look at it where it is in the sky and you can see everything. Well, it just so happens that this morning when I was looking at 5 a.m., Mars is like right by the Pleiades right now. I mean, and Mars is like the planet of like strong feelings and is it like disruption and passion and war, So with Pleiadians being so heart-centered, it could be messing with your heart centers, literally, and throwing you off track a little bit. I just thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I do too.
I mean, literally, Mars was right there in it. I was like, damn. I'm like, I think I know why you're feeling this way.
She did. What would I do without you? Yeah. I was going to say too, I know, is it Jan? They think they may be Pleiadian as well. What about something I noticed in myself? And what's weird is Chris thinks I'm weird for it. Like he sympathizes with things like this. However, he won't go to the extremes I do. Like say, okay, I'm going to use an example, okay? But say a news article came up and they're like, oh, you know, this country just had like a fire. I will literally break down and cry. I don't tell many people this. Or like other disasters or other things that happen, no matter how trivial or how it's like if it caused any uncomfortability to a bunch of people, I feel sad and I want to weep for the world. And
Absolutely.
it's interesting to me how some people perceive that as like, wow, that's a bit, you know, oversensitive.
Extreme. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't perceive how they don't feel that. And I think that can be confusing for not just a Palladium, but a lot of starseeds too, that kind of, you know, but
There was something that I read also about, now I can't remember exactly where I seen it, but they talked about certain traits that you would look for if you're wondering whether or not your child is a starseed. And one of them was like ADHD, or like being extreme, like one way or the other. One minute feeling, you know, extremely impassioned or whatever, the next minute, you know, or excitable, and the next minute really like what you would say like bipolar, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's also one of the things. And feeling like you're like you don't belong anywhere. And one with Pleiadian is extremely empathic. Extremely empathic. So that makes perfect sense with picking up on something. That's why it's really hard for me to watch the news, anything, because I don't just carry that for, you know, 15 minutes. I'll carry that for a couple of weeks. It really causes problems. And some Pleiadians are known for having weaker bodies because of them taking in all of that kind of energy, right? They can be sickly. Yeah. So do you want to get into some of the placements? Because, well, and there's also legends. Okay, one of the things that you had talked about was like the Native Americans and what they believed with the, do you have that story right there with you?
Not right here with me. However, I do know from the natives, like in my family, like my father, they've always talked about star people, and so have a lot of other different Native American nations. And the website, the lady that I'm using to find these placements that I'm going to show you guys in the chart for Pleiadian, she says that she went to different reservations with different Native Americans, and that she had gotten a lot of this information from them. And they talked about Pleiades and how it's one of the most common, besides for like Sirius and others that they had mentioned, were some of the first to start incarnating on Earth, which I find interesting. But and there was a legend about Orion, since you had him up there with the Pleiades, and Sirius is actually, I guess, in lore, Greek lore, it would be Orion is always in pursuit of Pleiades, where the Scorpion is in pursuit of Orion, but also Sirius is supposed to be Orion's companion, from what I understand. So I thought that was interesting too.
Well, one of the sites that I have up here, let me see if I can find it. Some of the Native American Pleiades myths are, one of them talks about, according to an article in Indian Country Today, the Iroquois, Delaware, Carrier, Inuit, Haida, Salish, Paiute, Wyote, Sash, a bunch of them, okay? The Cheyenne, the Blackfoot have all labeled the Shining Collection the Pleiades cluster. The article also notes that slightly elusive quality of the cluster, rather than looking directly at the grouping, the constellation is much clearer when viewed with peripheral vision. Well, that's, oh yeah, because it's like going through some kind of like dust thing or something. That I read that too. Citing a myth from the California Sierra and Paiute tribes, the author shares the story of the Grizzly Sisters and the Deer Sisters, which are in the Pleiades. One day, Grizzly Mother ate Deer Mother. Deer Sisters retaliated by trapping Grizzly Sisters in a cave. The Midwestern Dakota believe that the cluster is the Tayami, abode of the ancestors, and when we die, we go back to live in the Pleiades. One famous story is how 7 maidens were being hunted by a bear. The girls prayed to the gods, who responded by raising the ground under their feet high into the air. The angry bear clawed at the earth, leaving claw marks, but finally gave up and left. The maidens were turned into stars and placed in the sky for eternal safekeeping, and the spot where they stood is now Wyoming's Devil's Tower, complete with huge vertical striations thought to be bear claw marks. This is a small sample of Pleiadian myths and symbolism. And on this page, which, you know what, let me put it here for you really quick. There are tons of myths about the Pleiades throughout many different civilizations. There is Asian cosmologies that talk about it, the Norse, the Celtic, during the Bronze Age about the Pleiades, in Western Hermeticism and esoteric symbolism. There's connections with the Pleiades. So, even as much as Egyptian Thoth and Greek god Hermes. Interesting. So check that out, all of those.
Sorry for interrupting. Is it possible that there could be Pleiadians and other races, or are all of them considered Native American origin? It's actually all over and many different races. Yeah.
Right. Yes. So also, it is in Taurus, and you can see it behind her. Those are the Pleiades. And they are actually named after the 7 sisters, right? In Greek mythology.
Yes, and which are maidens as well. And it's similar to what you were reading of the Native Americans. And Orion the Hunter went in pursuit to them. So Gaia had created the Scorpion, which is now Scorpio constellation, to go after Orion, to sting him, to save the maidens. So, I mean, it's different depending which, again, where you're looking. But
so I want to tell you some areas to look at on your charts personally. And Cortney, you have your chart right there, don't you? That you can pull up for us so we can see it?
I do.
Okay. So first of all, there's 2 different ways according to this chart, but also Cortney had come up with some other figures from another site as well. And some of the traditional ways of finding out is the sun's conjunction to a star system at the time of the child's birth. So if you have your sun that is conjunct with another star system, that could be an indicator. A star system that is rising on your eastern horizon. So that would mean like your rising sign, which would be like around your first house, which is on the east side of your chart. And then on the west side, the star system that is descending, going down on the western horizon at the time of birth. Also, the moon and any visible planets that are moving through the star system at the time. These are all indicators. So I'm thinking if they're around, any of those things are around like Taurus and Pleiades. That's what I'm taking from that. In Western astrology, There can be opposite star alignments, which are 2 star point alignments, can be an indicator. A trine star alignment with a 3 star point alignment in a triangular position. So a trine is just like 3, like this. Sextile star alignment indicates a 60-degree angle between celestial bodies. So if you have any of these kind of things happening around your rising sign and around your 7th house, that would be an indicator. If either of those, like, is your 7th house or your rising sign Taurus?
No, my 8th house and the rulership, what is in Taurus.
But, and do you also have anything going on around Taurus, like any other planets that are in Taurus at your time of birth? Anything like that?
Nothing in Taurus. Just the degree is significant from what I'm going on from what this lady had said. And also the fact that Pleiades was aligned with my sun at the time of birth. Excuse me. And then other degrees and placements in certain areas.
Okay.
But I don't have Taurus anywhere but there.
Do you have like the round picture, honey?
Nope.
Oh, it
Sorry.
doesn't show it on that.
Unless
That's okay.
it goes down here. Nope.
Okay.
Not with me.
So Taurus
Sorry.
is in your 8th house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's actually the area of my chart as well, where it pulled up here that more than likely because of my Taurus placement and then planetary stuff. Down here,
Well, the 8th house is based off of Scorpio, which is about hidden and occult, spiritual knowledge, psychic, all that good stuff.
Right. And it had said that, I don't know how they got it from there, but it said more than likely to pass away at old age with kidney stuff from this. So I thought that was interesting.
So there was something else that you had talked about the degrees in certain signs. So if you can look at your chart, each of you, and see whether or not any of these particular zodiac signs are in these degrees on your chart, this could also be an indicator.
So first I'll give you the Pleiadian alignment dates. Apparently it occurs twice a year, May 17th through 19th. And if you don't have these, it doesn't mean that you're like not Pleiadian. It's just other things to look out for.
Through what, May 19th?
May 17th through 19th, and then November 17th through 19th, which I was born the night of the 19th, but I was born like just after midnight, a couple hours. So, and then for the starseed markings and your degrees and your signs. So it's from the 25th degree all the way to the 29th degree. And that's in Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, Cancer, and Capricorn. Also, if you have 0 degrees in Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo.
Okay, what did you say again? Because I'm typing it. Taurus, Scorpio,
Aquarius, Leo, Cancer, and Capricorn.
and also 0 for
Gemini.
Okay.
Sag.
Oh, 0. Oh, okay.
Pisces, and Virgo. So if you look over here, where I kind of made connections earlier today. So Scorpio, not only was I born on the 9th of the 19th, even though it's considered the 20th, I'm taking that as a personal resonation. For my son, I got 27 degrees. And then over in my second house also,
I believe very strongly that a lot of us are not Pleiadian, but from other better places in the stars. The better is just my warrior soul being a prick.
Yeah. it is. But no, hey, that's awesome.
I don't resonate really myself too much with Pleiadian, but
right. And there are many other awesome star seeds and star systems and stuff, you know. I think most people hear Palladian most commonly, you know, and maybe that's why. But also, yes, in the second house in Scorpio, 3 to 27 degrees. And then in my Taurus, also 3 to 27 degrees, which is in my 8th house, which Scorpio. So with those, of course, I want to get the book and go deeper on this. But so far, I did want to share that with you and kind of show you.
So when you're looking at your chart, guys, if you're looking at the actual round part of it, you'll see on the left-hand side, that's where your, or the east side, that's where your rising sign is. So that would be your first house. If you have anything coming up on that side, that can be an indicator. If you have anything coming up on your 7th house, that can be an indicator. Also, the degrees that Cortney had just talked about. Now, there's also another thing that I came across where nakshatras that are associated with it. And it is the 3rd nakshatra, which is, let me pull it up for you really quick. I forgot to bring the book down with me.
I agree.
Okay, so the 3rd nakshatra is Kritika. And Kritika is actually in the Pleiades. It says, let me pull this. The star cluster Kritika, in Sanskrit pronounced Kritika, I guess, popularly translated, whatever, sometimes known as Kartika, corresponds to the open star cluster called Pleiades in Western astronomy. It is one of the clusters which makes up the constellation Taurus. In Indian astronomy and Jyotisha, the name literally translates to the cutters. It is also the name of its goddess personification, who is the daughter of Daksha and Panchajani. I'm sure I'm just butchering that. And thus I have sister to Kayati, spouse of Kritika, is Chandra. The 6 Kritikas who raise the Hindu god Kartikeya are Siva. Oh, and it goes on further. But so if your nakshatra, if you are looking at Vedic astrology, is Kritika, the 3rd one, that is also an indicator that you are Pleiadian. So, because your moon would be right by the Pleiades at that time, would be in Taurus. So does anyone have any questions? And let's see what people are saying. All right, let me go back up. Do you believe all people have Pleiadian connections or just all starseeds? Or are we from all over the universe? Honestly, I think we're from all over. And I think some of us are, and I've come across this also. I think that some, you might see it in your astrology right now. If it's not in your astrology right now, I think that just means that you might be an older soul and you incarnated like a long time ago, and it's still part of your makeup. But I believe that many different alien races were doing DNA experimentation on the Earth. So I think that there is a very strong mixture. But I think if it's showing up like right now strongly for you and it resonates strongly, it's because maybe you just recently came in again. And this is why you are incarnating at this time. Collide across the world. Like in my Indian mythology, the god of the fire goes after the sisters, whereas Orion goes there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm. I just had 3 kidney surgeries in the last 3 weeks. Wow, a lot of similarities that you are having with Jan, honey.
I am. You know, Jan, I would like to maybe speak with you sometime.
Also, look at your chart. So the stuff that we put in chat, if any of them are between 25 to 29 degrees in any of the houses or any of the signs,
Right.
well, these signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, Cancer, and Capricorn, this can be an indicator. And 0 degrees in Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo. Which, I mean, I do have like 4 of those in my Western, and I don't have any of those in my Vedic. But, yeah, I've seen that. Welcome back, sweetie. I just went up really.
What's the divine ka? Wait a minute.
I believe, oh, wrong one. I believe the earth is a diplomatic meeting place for us all, and some of us have very old wars going on in the home places. Yes, absolutely. Hello, and charts are boring. So much to learn, and it's very confusing. Oh, see, I don't find that boring. I find that exciting whenever there's tons of information that's still got to be discovered. I'm thinking of starting my own secret society. I'm just kidding. Well, maybe.
I'm down. I'm down.
Let's do it. I sort of need to start looking into all this better, or just start talking about it more. I find it incredibly, incredibly stimulating. I mean, excitingly stimulating. Like journeys, because you will probably find the roots there. You know, I say whatever resonates with you, just like something that we wanted to talk about. I lean more towards Vedic astrology right now, currently, based on what I have learned thus far. And Cortney leans more towards Western based on what she's learned thus far. But we're not saying that either is more correct or less accurate or is the right way to go. We just say, just search for yourself, find what resonates with you, and that is your truth, right?
Right.
That's how I see it.
There's a comment here that really sparks my interest.
Hit it, sweetie.
So the Palladium workbook, Awaken Your Divine Ka. You remember what I channeled, Rachele? I want to know what is the divine ka, if you don't mind explaining that, dice controller. And
actually, I have read one book thus far that you can get from Amazon. Excuse me, because I have Kindle Unlimited, and they have like Starseed series. So I have read one of them. It had like a few of them in there, and seen other things on the Starseeds, but I find it all extremely interesting. And there is so much to learn. And from my understanding, Ka was a certain people, like maybe inner earth people.
Right. And that's where I had actually seen or met that group. I'm just wondering, are there like connections to Pleiades in them? I'm going to research that myself, but that's interesting.
So Amy says, my first incarnation on Earth was on Lumeria as a wisdom keeper, seated by the Pleiadian star mothers. Our PLS can be a key to our galactic heritage or hermitage. This life, I resonate with the Pleiadians. Yeah. And I wonder what Atlantis was, because to my understanding, Atlantis and Lemuria were both the 2 prevalent civilizations at a certain time. And from what I have seen, the Atlanteans were more about like actual technology, using technology and stuff like that, whereas the Lemurians were more about spiritual evolution, you know, natural, organic spiritual evolution, whereas the Atlanteans were using more technology. So I don't know. And they were kind of at odds to each other. But that's all information we're getting right now. That doesn't mean it's accurate. That's just information that I have seen. Interesting books on Amazon about Pleiadian energy work and downloads. Yeah. Hi, sweetie.
Dice controller. You know, I love all my peoples, but sometimes.
Russian grandmothers.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I have an extremely strong intuition that I am Pleiadian. Then you probably are, sweetheart.
Oh, I was commenting under your account. I apologize.
Well, how could you not?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. It was me typing.
Me too, Cortney. I'm going to look into that workbook.
Awesome.
I really, really have to bite my tongue not to tell people, oh, no, that's wrong. You are doing it all wrong almost every day. The to each their own concept is hard work for me, but I see it being true. Yeah, because your truth is not necessarily everyone else's truth. You know, even astrology, this is something that Cortney and I were talking about, because ultimately I want to understand where the origins of astrology come from, and that's going to help better tell me what system is more accurate for me personally, because of my own beliefs. I believe that kind of information was given to us by the Nephilim or the angels, demons, whatever you want to say. And that is where we originally got that information. So, you know, you think Sumeria, but I've also read, and I did a video on this a few months ago, that they discovered a Armenian Stonehenge that actually shows all the zodiac, all 12 houses, even depicted with the different animals and such. And that is 2,000 years older than the one that they had for the Sumerian. And this is in Armenia, which is close to the border of Turkey, on top of, or the side of, a mountainside. So does that mean that astrology is not Sumerian and it came from Armenia first? Or is it just because they share a border and it's really close? You know, what does that mean? Is that the earliest that we know? And does it have anything to do with placement, where it was on the earth? Because their system, just like we've got the North and the South hemisphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's all questionable. We don't have proof at this point what the true origins are. So you have to take what resonates with you. That's your truth. That's my belief.
Exactly.
Past lives, galactic heritage. It's been a long day. Let's see. But I think she's replying to you via Amethyst. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to catch up. I don't know. I just looked up some books now on Amazon. Yeah. Try it, Cortney. Okay. All right. So does anybody else have any questions? Cortney, is there anything else that you want to add about the Pleiadians?
No, I think we covered it all.
All right. And we wanted to try to keep this around 30 minutes, but obviously you know how we are. When you open up to all the different viewpoints, it's like your mind is just exploding into endless possibilities. It's easier just to denounce it. I mean, I do get that, but for me, that's when I thrive, because I like putting the dots together and following like migration, stuff like that. That's one of the reasons that we even started like the angels and demons, right? Is to like kind of like show that gap, bridge it a little bit. And why I believe that this is just my belief. You don't have to believe what I believe, but this is how it can dictate what somebody else thinks is right or wrong or whatever. It's based on your own personal beliefs. But I believe that the angels, demons, deities, and all that, you have like your archetypes that have moved from, culture to culture that are actually the same energies.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a whole big subject. I don't even really
We
want
could do a whole video just on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you want to do Orion next?
Yeah, let's do Orion next.
Awesome. Yeah, because that's the one I really, really resonate. Sirius and Orion. There are indicators in the charts of Never Again Atlantis in the chart for those souls wishing to resolve their Atlantean karma. I believe that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Pleiadian Principles for Living is another interesting book on Amazon. Thank you. I will definitely check that out. That makes sense now. The workbook states the Pleiadian workbook is a direct transmission from the Pleiadian emissaries of light beings from the Pleiades who say that it's time now for spiritual growth and ascension and heal. Yes.
See, I was thinking about getting that book. I did see it, and I do have a few like Palladian and other books with Starseeds. But one thing I do like to do before I flood my brain, I kind of take information as it comes, because I do, if I want to channel or try to see what I pick up, I like to do that first, then take all my notes, then start reading and comparing. So that's kind of how I work personally. So that way my mind isn't like chaos and I'm trying to pick out of the chaos.
Sorry, my big mouth boy up there.
Sully always makes his appearance like,
He's got to
hello.
put his 2 cents in.
No.
I was like, oops. Me too, Thomas. Sometimes I'm all about the exploring, and other times I just want to be left alone, picking it out of it. Hey, we all need time to just step away a little bit. I mean, yes, definitely. That is, for me, I burn myself out. I know I do, because I don't
Same.
pace myself. But I will, the thing
Same.
about knowledge is, yeah, but I find it boring to just do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
But that's why, because I like to connect things and go, oh, wow. So that's what, and that's what we do all the time when we're talking. Our conversations are like, oh, yeah. Well, I just seen this today. Oh my gosh, really? Well, I got to tell you what happened. And it's kind of like associated with that. And then we go down this rabbit hole. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
We got a series that's coming up, guys, that's going to show you how that rabbit hole works.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I feel like there can be like inner earth races too, though, incorporated, because I feel like I see some people saying that others resonate with them as well. For me, it's like the Fae or inner earth beings, or this Ka group that I had met also resonates with me. So I'm like, don't forget about the inner ones too.
Yeah. I also believe I'm from Andromeda. Yeah.
Oh.
Aliens! Right on.
Yeah.
I think they're all alien.
I forgot to tell you, Rachele, we have alien chip. Well, we know them as potato chips here, but they're called crisps here. They're little alien heads, and they're like in a bag with a green alien head like that, and it became my favorite. Like I love them.
Want.
I'm gonna send you some.
Oh, there's a series on Gaia called Interview with ED Extra Dimensionals. That is freaking awesome. I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you so much. Being dead or spirit and alien is not a prerequisite for truth. Yeah, I agree. That's why I think most definitely you just have to, whatever resonates with you, get the information. Even when you think something is factual, doesn't always mean it's factual. Because you have to always think about the source of where it's coming from, right? And how many times have things been put out in an agenda in order to steer civilizations a certain way, and people think that that is truth and fact, and then, oh, I don't know, a couple thousand years later, they find out that's not the case. I mean, science has always reproven itself. So,
Well, we were just talking about
true.
that before this live too, and how like they used to start it with Virgo, and Virgo like didn't used to be the Virgin. It used to be the divine feminine of divinity, the goddess energy, and it would start with Virgo. Now we know that it starts with Aries, and I couldn't help but wonder, because I was asking Rachele, could this have been when like religion kind of came in, maybe change that up, said we're going to take the goddess out, throw the virgin in here, and switch it up a little bit. But
And see,
we
I
don't
don't know
know.
how true something like that is either, because they don't even know where the origins of astrology started.
Right.
So, you know, people, was that channeled information? I am curious when I hear something is channeled, because that makes me feel like a lot of things that have steered civilization in the way that it has in order to reach a certain agenda. Now we're getting other people that are channeling information that is like contradicting a lot of that, right? So I'm interested in hearing, because could that be the truth? If it resonates, then it could be my truth, you know?
Yeah.
So
Excellently said.
Stephen Greer has a free website about how to contact peaceful aliens. Yeah. Stephen Greer did also Sirius, where they did the autopsy of the little alien, the little creature,
Yeah, I saw that.
with Emery Smith. Yeah. All right, guys. We need to call this. I mean, we're at an hour.
Oh, wow.
It goes really fast when we're talking about really cool stuff like this. So next week we will talk about Orion and where you can find that in your charts, and about the characteristics. And please just keep one thing in mind. This is just information that we are getting. We're not saying that this is the truth or your truth or whatever. If anything, we're just trying to help encourage people to explore for themselves. Right?
We like starting conversations. We like getting
Yeah.
people thinking, but most importantly, like Rachele said, thinking for yourself.
Yeah. All right. We love you guys, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and evening.